college football time again, everybody. Hola, my name's Terry James. We'll do some college football picks. That's why I have the Corso hat on. Big 12 highlights this week. Battle of Undefeateds. The Aggies of Oklahoma State host Baylor. What about this one, guys? The Lane Train, Lane Kiffin, and the Saban Raven, Nick Saban, and Alabama in Tuscaloosa. That's going to be a fight. Oregon and Stanford fight it off for the Pac-12 lead early. Northwestern and Nebraska late. Indiana and Penn State late. Auburn and LSU out in SEC late. All this more. Picks, and more picks coming up next. Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away! Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. Let's do some picks, shall we? We'll start in the Big 12. No midweek picks, games to pick, this week. So let's start it off at 11 a.m. right after the gun tips off. Right after Corso and them get done. Go over to ABC at 11 o'clock, at least in the Big 12 country. Texas at TCU on ABC. I'm taking the Frogs. Kansas State has had Oklahoma's number over the last 2 years. Well, for TCU and Texas, for TCU, at least in this rivalry, it's been a lot more than the last 2 years. In fact, it's been like 5 of the last 6, or whatever that senator lady said. So that's a big time game. I'm taking TCU to win it again. 2:30, speaking of Oklahoma and Kansas State, that is on the docket at the 2:30 slate. Oklahoma at Kansas State. Big Fox on that one. If you don't want to watch our game between Oklahoma and Kansas State, the mirror game, ESPN2, at least in Big 12 country, Texas Tech at West Virginia. I'm taking the Mountaineers. I really like the fight that I saw last night, and I think that they can get a little bit more out of their offense for next week in Morgantown at home. The late slate, Iowa State tries to bounce back as they host Kansas. Kansas at Iowa State, Fs1, taking the Cyclones and through tornadoes. They'll get this one. It's Kansas, people. And the Battle of the Undefeateds, the prime time game in the Big 12, undefeated versus undefeated, Baylor and Oklahoma State in Stillwater. I'm taking Okie State. That game will be on the Deuce, ESPN2. So there are your Big 12 games. Let's take a look at the national landscape. That will start on Thursday at 6:30 as UVA, that's Virginia, will be at Miami of Florida on ESPN. I'm taking the Canes in this one, the Hurricanes, on Thursday. Then we go to Friday. Houston. This is at 6:30, by the way. Now, as Mike Steele would say, Houston will be at Tulsa, ESPN. Thursday, I went for the Hurricanes. Why not go for the Golden Hurricane in this one? Give them to me. Give me the cane. 7 o'clock. This is a Power 5 game. Iowa at Maryland, Fs1. I'm taking the Terrapins, the Turtling Terrapins, in this one at 7 o'clock. And then at 8:30, the battle for Utah. Brigham Young at Utah State. This game will be on the CBS Sports Networks. I'm going to welcome y'all's newbie to the Big 12 in the next few years. Brigham Young in this one over Utah State. That is the Thursday-Friday slate. Now it's the full game of Saturday slates, and we'll start at 11 o'clock. One of the hottest teams in the SEC, Arkansas, takes on one of the hottest teams in the nation as they are at Georgia, ESPN. I'm taking the Bulldogs. Keep those dogs barking. Kirby. Big Fox. Before our game, the game that Bob and the crew will preview, or pregame for at least, Michigan will be at the Beavers of Wisconsin. Big Fox, like I said, I'm taking Michigan for this one. ESPN the Deuce, the battle for Carolina out in the ACC. Duke will be at the University of North Carolina. ESPN 2, I'm taking the Heels. And our old buddy Josh Heupel, don't miss his game. Tennessee at Missouri and the SEC Network. Also at 11, I'm taking Missouri. Big Ten game at 11 a.m. is Charlotte, and they will be at the Illini of Illinois on the Big Ten Network. I'm taking Illinois. ACC Network, Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh will take on the option game of Georgia Tech. I'm taking the Yellow Jackets. That game will be on the ACC Network at 11. Also at 11, Temple, Memphis at Temple, ESPNU. I'm taking Memphis in this one, actually. And finally, the 11 o'clock slate will end with a Michigan State at Buffalo. Western Michigan, at Buffalo game. CBS Sports. I'm taking Buffalo. The 11 o'clock games are over. Now we'll go to the 11:30 clock. Take your hand and just flick it 30 minutes, and you'll find Louisville at Wake Forest. ESPN 3, 11:30. I'm taking the Wake. 1 o'clock. Appalachian State at Georgia State. I'm taking App State here. This game was on ESPN Plus. Or the mirror game here at 1 o'clock. Southern Cal at Colorado. That game's on the Pac-12 network. I'm taking the Buffs. 1:30. This is a primetime game to watch, guys. Battle of Undefeateds in Independent League. Cincinnati will be at Notre Dame. NBC. I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one. I don't know if Cincinnati's ready, guys. But watch out for Cincinnati. They might have something to say about that. They got a really, really good defense. ULM at Coastal Carolina, the team of the year from last year. This game was going to be on ESPN Plus. I'm taking Coastal. ESPN Plus for this one. Also on ESPN Plus, Eastern Michigan at Northern Illinois. I'm taking UNI. This game, of course, as we already talked about, also ESPN Plus. That's the 1:30. The move the clock hand up an hour to the middle games. The meat of the schedules here. The meat schedule, 2:30 slate. Ole Miss at Alabama. CBS. I'm taking the Tide, baby. Roll that Tide. Ole Miss, though, can give them a fight in this one. Speaking of good inter-conference matchups, what about this one on ABC? Oregon at Stanford. I'm going to take the Cardinals. The trees. Give them to me, baby. I'll take it. SEC Network, our old buddy, Shane Beamer, here from OU days. Troy at his team with South Carolina. I'm taking South Carolina in this one. This game on the SEC Network. The Big Ten game, network game at 2:30. The Ohio State University at Rutgers. I'm taking Columbus. I'm taking the Buckeyes. Stadium Network, FIU at FAU. I'm taking Atlantic. This game, Florida Atlantic, that is. I'm taking the state. It's on, by the way, the Stadium Network. Staying in the state of Florida, Syracuse at Florida State. Give me the Noles. This game's on the ACC network, by the way. CBS Sports, Central Florida at Navy. Give me the newbies to the Big 12 in this one with UCF over Navy. ESPN Plus, Tulane at East Carolina. ECU. Give me the Pirates of ECU. ESPN Plus also has Central Michigan at Miami of Ohio. I'm taking Miami of Ohio. ESPN3. Speaking of Miami of Ohio, what about regular University of Ohio at Akron? ESPN3.com at 2:30. I'm taking Akron. Bowling Green at Kent State. ESPN Plus at 2:30. I'm taking Kent State. Finally, the 2:30 slot has Nevada at Boise State. Fox Sports 1. I'm taking the Broncos. That's the 2:30. 3 o'clock, 2 games here. ESPNU will have South Florida at SMU. I'm going to take the Mustangs. You can also buy, if you have the ESPN Plus package, you can watch Arkansas State at Georgia Southern on ESPN Plus, 3 o'clock, as we already talked about. I'm taking Georgia Southern. Fast forward an hour, Army will be at Ball State. I'm taking the Knights of Army. This game on ESPN Plus at 4 o'clock. The 4:30 slate is a Pac-12 game, and it's between Washington State, and they will be at Cal Berkeley. This game will be on the Pac-12 network. I'm taking Berkeley. 5 o'clock, U of F, that's the University of Florida, will be at Oral Stoops buddies. Mark Stoops in this one with Kentucky. Florida will be at Kentucky. ESPN, I'm taking Florida. Louisiana Tech at NC State. ESPN Plus. Give me NC State. I think that anybody else that they would be playing might be coming off a little high after beating Clemson, but home game, Louisiana Tech should be a pretty easy win for NC State. ESPN Plus. Finally on ESPN Plus, also Las Vegas, UNLV at UTSA. I'm taking Texas San Antonio. 5 o'clock done. 5:30. What about Southern Miss at Rice? ESPN3. I'm taking Southern Miss. And Air Force at New Mexico. Fox Sports 2. I'm taking New Mexico. The final 5:30 games there. Now it's the 6 o'clock games. Mississippi State at Texas A&M. SEC Network. I'm taking the Aggies. Also, Liberty will be at Birmingham. Alabama, Birmingham. University of Alabama, Birmingham. CBS Sports. I'm taking UAB. That's at 6 o'clock. The 6:30 slate. Pretty deep slate here with dessert, including Indiana and Penn State. That game on ABC. Give me the Lions. Clemson tries to bounce back at home. Boston College at Clemson. ACC Network. It took everything Boston College had to knock off Missouri. And whether you want to admit it or not, Clemson is just a little better than Missouri. Home game. Give me the Tigers. Western Kentucky at Michigan State. Coming off of a Fox Sports 1. Hard-fought win coming off with Nebraska. They continue the momentum. Game played in Michigan State. Give me Sparty on, baby. ESPNU, UConn at Vandy. Give me Vanderbilt. ESPNU. Final game of the final game at the 6:30 slate. Big Ten Network. Northwestern at Nebraska. Give me the Huskers. 7 o'clock game to look at. Louisiana, Lafayette, I should say, at South Alabama. I'm taking South Alabama. This game, ESPN Plus. 8 o'clock, SEC game I was telling you all about earlier. Auburn at LSU, ESPN. I'm taking Auburn at 8 o'clock. Also at 8 o'clock, ODU, that's Old Dominion, at Texas El Paso, ESPN, the Plus Network. I'm taking the Miners. And finally, no Pac-12 after dark, but it's still a pretty late game at 10 o'clock. Central Time, you can catch Fresno State at Hawaii. That game, CBS Sports Network. Give me the Rainbows. Alright guys, thanks for watching. My name's Harry James. You guys know the rest. You can catch this on all my other videos. YouTube, Boomer Center 1982. Also, Harry James Taylor on Twitter or Harry James Taylor on Facebook. Alright guys, thanks for watching and Boomer Center, everybody. I'm out of here. Peace. Enjoy college football.